Welcome to Shomar Shavan and Dav Shir, sponsor Lui Nishma Sam Yakashom Lab Hasitzchok. We're holding in Shevuos Dav Chof Tes. The Gemara in Dav speaks about the fact that Moshe Rabeinu was Mashbiya Am Yisroel. He did a Shevuah to Am Yisroel. It wasn't on Daisom, Baldas, Hamokoim, Baldas, Moshe. They had to do the Shevuah with the mindset that HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe Rabeinu, the way they structure the Shevuah. And the Gemara goes on to explain what Moshe Rabeinu could have said in a different way. And we'll say three ha'aras on the Mahalach of the Gemara. Number one, the Boine on the Ein Yaakov points out that this idea of doing a Shevuah, Das HaMakoim, this is the foundation of Torah. Because the whole idea of the Karoim and the Tzdukim, all the people that now believe in Torah Sheba'al Peh, they took the Torah and tried to explain it based on their understanding. So the Shevuah is really saying, you can't just take the Torah and interpret it with the way you want to do it. You have to take the interpretation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us. That's the Yisroel of Torah Sheba'al Peh, and that's the whole basis of the discussion. And then the Gemara begins a discussion of what else Moshe Rabeinu could have said. And the Gemara starts by saying, if you need to worship HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe Rabeinu will tell them to worship Elohim, so they'll have to worship Hashem. How can they come and interpret it differently unless they can come and say their own thing? Said the Gemara, no, because Avodah Zarah is also called Elohim. Elohim Acherim is Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah uses the Shem Elohim. And this goes back to something we spoke about here in the past. What I heard from my Rebbe Moshe Shaper many times. The Chazal and Sefer HaZoyah tell us that the word Elohim, the true Elohim, the name of Hashem, is combined from two different words, Mi and Ele. And it refers to the pasuk Se'u moram einechem u'ru'u mi bara ele. Ele is koiches, the powers of the world. Who created the powers? You can look at the powers, but you need to see the source of these powers. If you see the source, if you see where all the powers are coming from, you look at the power and know that that's only a middle ground to get to the source. Mi bara ele. So then you have the Shem Elohim. But if you disconnect the mi, and you think that the Eile is the source and nothing comes before that, so then you're left with Eile only. That's the beginning of Eile Elohecha Yisroel. Meaning the Shem Elohim, that's where the mistake can happen. It could be Elohim with Mi Bara Eile, or it could be Elohim that you look at the Eile and think that's the Ikar. Elohim Acherim, that's the misinterpretation of the Koiches in the world. And this, in a more deeper sense, we know that Shem Elohim means midas hadin, the judgment in the world. And the judgment, it's the structure and the putting things into place. The whole reason that this world is a world of a challenge is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kivyochel put a structure to the world and disappeared. All oilam loshan helim, disappearance. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kivyochel is not showing himself. To put here a very clear structure how you come and reveal Hashem. This is the place that led to a mistake. The name Elohim could be Elohim Acherim. That indeed is the place of toes, because the name Elohim, which means Gevura, Isapkus, is diminishing the revelation of Hashem in the world and giving a place to make a mistake. And finally, the Gemara concludes and says, in one of the options, that if we would say mitzvahs, or even kola mitzvahs refers to tzitzis. And the Rosh says over here what Rashi brings in Chumash, that tzitzis is taryag. Why? Because the gematria of the word tzitzis, tzadik yud, tov, it's 600. Plus you have the 8 chutim and the 5 ksharim, the 8 strings and the 5 knots, that comes out to be taryag. So tzitzis refers to the mitzvahs of Hashem. And there's an oimek niflo over here. It's brought down in the Arizal that tzitzis is loshan meitzitz min acharokim. Through the tzitzis, you connect to the highest place. You know, the Gemara tells us that in the chutzat chelis of tzitzis, that's doimil yam, and the yam is doimil rekia, and the rekia is doimil kisa akovet. Through tzitzis, we get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it works also the opposite. That the Gilui Hashem to us is through tzitzis. And the Arizal adds that the Gedusha of the beged, of the talis itself, is so high, so kadosh. It's coming from such a high place that in this world, this Kedusha is not nitpas. That's why the Kedusha is only on the strings, not on the beged. But really, the beged belongs to a much higher place. And Reb Tzadok HaKohen, in Pri Tzadik, on Parashat Vayishlach, adds to this, that when Avraham Avinu did not take the chut v'atzorich now from Melech Doim, so b'schar the chut he got chut shel tzitzis. Because when Avraham Avinu recognized, and he also demonstrated that nothing is coming to the world except from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Gilui Hashem in a way that nobody has anything but the Gilui Hashem, that's the biggest revelation to come to the world, and that's the Gilui of Tzitzis. Tzitzis is Gilui of the highest level, called Atiko, because through Tzitzis you get to the highest place. So the Gemara is telling us you should know that Tzitzis is Kol HaMitzvahs, is Shakol Keneged Kol HaMitzvahs. Tzitzis is really equivalent to everything else because it brings you to the highest connection that you can connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Anyone who wants to join the Shor Machshava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.